Check, check. Quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. How are we doing today on
Doing
the
good.
the
Doing
day
good.
after?
Nvidia hangover day. S&P all-time high day. When's the Nasdaq going to do it? Uh, Play catch up. We are here. We are here. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. This is your first time here. The goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. Dan Trader is feeling the hangover. Dan's got a birthday tomorrow. Dan has a birthday
Happy
tomorrow.
birthday.
Happy early birthday, Dan. Uh, Positive day though. Uh, this is our first time meeting. I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023. Been trading for the past 13 years and in the futures markets for the past 6. And that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share my experiences, some wisdom, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Absolutely. You are all our chat, our audience. Let us know how you did today. Are you up on the day, down on the day, flat on the day? Let us know how your trading day went. And we will go through these charts. Take a look at the news really quick. We did have some numbers come out this morning, some jobs data. Initial jobless claims came in a little bit better than expected, 229,000. Forecast was 230. We also did have second quarter GDP estimate coming at 3.3%, and forecast was 3.1%. We had some PCE prelim numbers. We know we got some more data out tomorrow. That Fed's favorite inflation gauge, maybe that PCE number coming out tomorrow on the last day of the week and the last trading day of the month. We also got Michigan sentiment. So if you thought the volatility was over, just wait. There's more. Uh, and it's coming tomorrow. Anything else you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Um, no, not at all, really. Like we said, hangover um, from yesterday. Um, but looking into tomorrow's news, Michigan sentiment usually causes a little bit of volatility. So let's be prepared for that.
Let's be prepared. Make sure we're paying attention. We got Jay UFO up 10% on the day. Robert Harrison says, I finished up on the day. Scalpy up. Matthew says, I don't even have Coach Jay's time studying markets. Seems like an incomplete message there. I have a lot of time studying markets, man. Too much. I lost count. 10,000 hours, 10,000 times, it feels like. Bink says, 2 A+ banger trades and locked out. Great day for me. Oh, I don't have half of Coach Jay's time studying markets. There you go, Matthew. AB the Don up 400 in all accounts. Good day. JD says, fire. He's talking about tomorrow. Options expiration, monthly, end of month, big numbers coming out. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting one. Small green day for Courtney. Good pre-market analysis this morning, but cut my trade too early. It happens, right? Analysis and execution. When we get those two things to match up, ton of opportunity, but we got to play the game. But small green, better than a loss, Courtney. Always tomorrow. Had account issues, best day in a long time in practice account. Coach Paul, what did you celebrate? Dante wants to know. You got a hangover?
No, the hangover from yesterday's big um, NVIDIA announcement. We'll go over that later, but I think that just it created some randomness early in the day until we could shake it off. Kind of like having a hangover until about noon, if you've ever been there.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm beyond having hangovers on work days. I did plenty of that in my younger days.
Can't do it anymore.
It just you get to a point like I can't do that.
Can't live like this.
Maybe I was having flashbacks with some of the action early in the equities
Yeah. Yep.
and in the crude. But let's go forward.
Let's go forward. A couple more shout outs here. Trader X passed my VIP today. XFA activated. Whose team are you on? Whose team are you on, Trader X? I need to know what the competition is doing. Uh, Keto Banks says just started a new combine, 100K up 1077. Need to work on trade location. Good stuff. That's a great start to the combine. Uh, you know, don't rush. Don't rush. Coach Paul drinks Nvidia whiskey. uh, Liz High passed 350K accounts today. And Coach Vince's team for Trader X. Coach Vince's team. I'm watching you guys. Watching you. All right. Let's get into the charts, Coach Paul.
Let's go.
36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. Today to the downside, we had cattle down, actually. That ever happened?
Wow.
Talking about swing trades. Is this the dip to buy in cattle? Down 1.02%. Coach Vince in the chat. We got soybean oil down 1.47%, and micro Ethereum futures, our biggest percentage mover to the downside at 2.24%. Not a lot to the downside today. A lot of green on this quote board. We have silver up 1.26%, platinum up 1.3%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 3%. We did have some natural gas inventories come out today, and we saw a pretty big spike. Pretty much all of that 3% move in natural gas happened after that inventory print. Sometimes knowing the news, this might look like a scary trade to take, but momentum is momentum. We see it happen all the time. What was this based on? Just that inventory print coming out. Now, just like for CPI or PPI, do I want to guess where this is going? No, because I don't trade natural gas every day. But from the structure, what do we have here, Coach Paul?
We have
Urgency.
Well, yeah, on the news,
On
on
the
a
news.
3-minute candle, we had urgency, which is hard. We had some of that also in crude
Yeah, we did.
later in the day. And l- that urgency, even though that wasn't on the open, it was off a big report. You could almost consider that a synthetic open,
Right.
measuring the flow. Now, if you take that trade, you got to measure that candle.
Yeah, it's a lot of risk.
Now, they have minis, which are a quarter of the size.
Right.
Um, how much is that on a regular contract?
A closed quantile, I can measure it.
Well, you have there.
It's
I mean,
40 ticks.
so it's about $125 risk in a mini.
Nice. A really nice move there. To talk about our big four, Coach Paul just mentioned crude oil up 0.33%. It didn't look like it. Didn't look like it. We were down a little bit in crude. Got the S&P also up 0.33%, gold up 0.83%, and the NASDAQ up 0.56%. We'll take a look at the S&P first. We did have new all-time highs in the S&P, Coach Paul. What are we seeing on this daily?
Like we've been talking, is there any reason to get short this or to get out of a long position if you're a swing trader? No.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, it looks like it's going to accelerate from here. Um, just nice movement, held heck. I mean, really, and we haven't had a blowout on volume. This is all just
Steady.
steady. We had that J trade we've talked about earlier in the week on the daily on that break, and we've held that,
Market
and
respects volume,
we leak higher.
man. And we really did leak higher, Coach Paul. This
A
I've
lot.
I've used the word reluctant, hesitant. If anyone was watching how we were making all-time highs towards the end of the day, it was literally a tick at a time. Uh, it's one tick higher, pull back, one tick higher, pull back. But it was grinding up. Makes it maybe a little bit hard to get into that trade, but it is continuing to rally. Like you said, Coach Paul, and are there short opportunities potentially in this? Maybe, but the flow is to the upside. So, uh, I'm thinking if I do find myself in a short, I'm thinking see profit, take profit because I'm against the higher time frame trend right now.
Well, if we measured yesterday's news candle, we were inside of that 90% of the day. And you thought that's why it took patience if you wanted to own it and some risk. I mean, but it never got below the spike of yesterday's low. We still above the 200 bar moving average on the half hour, but I mean like the old country song says, we went and made new highs by way of Omaha. It was hard grinding. I'm watching fast markets today, trading micros.
Doom. Oh
Was
yeah.
was it was the way to go.
Yep.
If you were over leveraged today, either side, um, it could be a very, you know, you could take a beating in a hurry. I mean, even like that break, that candle, we went from new highs to almost new lows in a half an hour, and it meant nothing. Now, measuring that, we have a that's not really a J trade because it didn't make new lows for the day.
New lows for the
That's
New
the
York session. I want to ask a question here
Yeah.
because I'm actually just seeing this in real time right now. Um, did anyone frame out this Nvidia candle and look at where we stopped when the New York session open? Right at that 50%. Oh man, I didn't do. I wasn't in my normal seat for opening call this morning, or else I would have called that one out. 'Cause it's something that we look at all the time, right? Frame that news candle out. Stopped right at 50%. That looks like a great spot. Get into a long. Trade for Freedom says took shorts all day and made 11K. Very easy to trade these types of days. There you go. Uh, nice day.
No, you traded your plan. Good for you.
Big day. 11K. Uh, We did have on the 3 minute, Coach Paul, maybe a little bit of a J trade here. Right off, it's kind of iffy. Again, if you use a different time frame, but in this general area, we saw all that selling right into 50% of the Nvidia candle. Uh, Initially, like you said, it was a pretty nice sell off. The S&P got to within a tick of the all time high up here. It was at 6508.75. The high of this candle is 6508.50. Do you think they might have trapped some buyers in there to start the day? Look,
But it's interesting. Let's take let's go just regular trading hours.
there we go.
And that now that low becomes a bit of a J trade. Yeah,
Mhm.
it could have been more volume, but there was light volume today.
Yeah,
Um, there you go. Um, yeah, that made that low. I should have done that. We could, you still have yesterday's news candle framed out. Now, without that, just looking today, we broke out of the opening range with volume and price.
nice short.
It did stop on a dime.
Yeah, it did. The sign.
Um, why I didn't get short is I'm taking one side. Being above the 200 bar moving average of this, I just don't want to get short. It can go without me. But yeah, there was a lot. These Remember, this is the equities. You can get short, but boy, you better cover quickly. It just the- it goes up a lot faster than it goes down.
Or and more consistently than it goes down, right? These things are just meant to go up over a long period of time. So catch lightning in a bottle. Kind of what we're doing here, right? It is going to turn around pretty quick. I got a question for you, Coach Paul. I want to ask you in a little bit, but yeah, really nice reversal there. We can see this aren't red area. How do we know that's the low of the day? We don't until it's made. But once we close above that, Do we get a 2-to-1 here? And this is the area that we're marking out. It's a candle that made the low. Decently high volume. If I was looking at a different time frame, let's actually change it. On a 5-minute, still wasn't. Maybe you want to use this one,
Yeah.
right? Either way, same concept. Let's actually use the highest volume one. Does the concept still apply? Where if I'm waiting for that close, and sometimes it's not going to look like a 3-bar reversal, right? If we ever wait for that confirmation, we had 20, almost 30 minutes, 45 minutes before we closed above that high. If I can be patient there, do I still get a 2-to-1 with a risk on the other side of that candle? And you do. Took a lot of patience, but that's a pretty clean trade there. Now, here's the question, right? Do I have the patience to wait 45 minutes to even take a trade? And then do I have the patience to wait another hour and a half for the trade to play, or almost 2 hours for the trade to play out, right? We talked about this yesterday. It's easy to just look at the chart and say, yeah, I buy it here, get out here. But that takes 2 hours to do that. So, trade there. Anything else you got on the equities, Coach Paul?
Well, we have to see what the cousin did. Cousin Rusty.
I thought you were talking about the NASDAQ. Great Baron setup. What was the Baron setup? Shout out to my guy Baron.
What is the Baron setup?
Trades by SD held along all day, 22K profit, trade duration 14 plus hours. Nice trade. Nice trade.
Oh,
What price did you get in long?
I-
When will we see Paul in the Thunderdome? Coach Paul? Coach Paul, when you get in the Thunderdome?
I don't. Whenever I'm invited,
He said, sign me up. I'm ready to go.
send you.
Let's take a look at the Russell. The NASDAQ did pretty much the same thing. Ton of size traded in this this first 3 minutes in the NASDAQ here. In this 680 area, it's like 2,000 contracts traded there on the open. Buying it right up. And then another 800 traded right at that high. Pretty clean short up there. And then we came right back down to this spike here from yesterday on the close. And we rally. So nice trade in the NASDAQ. But let's take a look at the Russell. Coach versus coach in the Thunderdome. Who are the two coaches you want to see trade against each other in the Thunderdome? Put it in the chat. The Russell, Coach Paul. What are we looking at here on the daily?
Onward and upward. Wow, didn't really do much. It seemed like they were putting that trade back on. Buying the NASDAQ was leading the way, and again, the Russell and the Dow were sold against it. That's what appears, but that's still that's a very bullish chart to me. But it didn't get a chance to play catch up. But still looks very good. I think we still have room, maybe make an attack on next week of playing catch up again. What is that all-time high? Or the yearly high?
It was actually in 2021. 2564 even. 2564. We are about 8% off that, a little under 8% off that.
All right.
Got some good matchups here. Me versus Vince, Hogue versus Vince, me and Dakota, or Paul versus Hogue. I like that one. Coach Robert versus me, Robert and Dolby, or Fatima and anyone. I don't think anyone wants to go against Fatima. She casually talks the best trash that I've ever seen anyone talk. Just
She does.
super like unassuming. Just like, oh, you're just not very good at this. And she's killing you. So I don't want to go against her. I don't have that kind of confidence. But yeah, Russell, indecisive day. Maybe the S&P stole the show. We are right below that 2,400 in the Russell. So let's see if we have the momentum to continue right above that. Look at the Dow, just because kind of similar. Still flagging. Still a flagging pattern here. That looks like a bull flag to me. Let's see if we do
Oh,
have the momentum to break out. And the Dow is not far from all-time highs either. About 1.5% off the all-time high.
buy it, Mortimer.
Buy
Buy
it.
it.
Don't care about the price. Just keep buying. All right. Well, let's take a look at gold here, Coach Paul. Gold up 0.84% on the day, doing kind of what we
What
expect
gold
gold
does.
to do. What gold does. What are we looking at here on this daily?
Um, Making an attempt to get over the hump. Um, Now, curiously, the 20 closed back above the 50. We had a breakout early, um, and it finished well. This still looks like it's gaining momentum. Um, I don't know, it looks very friendly. Can we get a fresh leg of buying?
Yeah,
Well,
we're up here again.
yes, we are. What's the magic price? The
30.
price that God said you will stop here.
Yeah. You shall not pass. 35.23 evens, right? 50% of the candle that made that all-time high. Uh, man, can someone code us a 50% algo? Just looks at 50% of candles and just takes trades at them. Uh, we closed inside that candle that made the all-time high. We can see the equal highs that we have up here, right? And do we break? We are 1.5% off that, where we started to draw another trend line here. Does gold finally break out? We tested this level 6 times, Coach Paul.
Can 7 be the charm? And not only just touch it, we need to close
Break through
above it.
it. Just break through it. Just come on. What are we doing here?
We'll we'll sing a little Doors song.
Break
Break on
on
through.
through to the other. I see where you were
We
going.
can't play that. Yeah, we're going there.
Yeah, we don't want any copyright strikes
And
because we sounded
so,
exactly like them.
um, yeah, but this is gaining momentum. But we've done this this before. The last time we made an attempt to get through that 50%. But I think we're going to at least get up there by the dips.
By the dips. Uh, what time can you trade an XFA account until all trades need to be closed by 3:10 Central Time? 3:10 Central. Yeah, gold had a pretty nice day. Let's take a look at a half-hour chart. Here is, let me make sure I get the right date. Have you ever tried a 12-hour? Coach Paul, you ever trade a 12-hour chart?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But Jojo, have you? Can we even bring one up?
12-hour chart. No. Nope.
I don't think I can either on my CQG.
I could on Quant
Uh,
Tower. It'll let
How
me
about
bring
an
it up.
8? I like the 8-hour chart. But
No, can't bring that up either. We got 4 hours.
either one. All right. Well, let's get into this action.
Let's take a look. Gold last night. Uh, Initially, a little bit of a selling coming in here. And Shanghai opened up, made some lows. Nice trade by
Yeah.
Dakota last night in slow markets. He was buying in this zone here. I don't think he held it because he was in a combine and probably would have hit 10 times the daily profit target if he just held on to this trade. But a really nice call here. We had this spike of volume yesterday, held inside this candle. The market respects volume when it trades. I'm curious.
That was late.
Go ahead,
The
coach.
late spike. That
Yeah.
was the late spike.
Yep. Right before settlement in
Yeah.
curious real quick. Let me see.
Or right before the close.
Put up a. We don't use this often. Put up a volume profile here. Little low volume node. Come back and clean this up. You hear Hogue talk a lot about single prints. When Hogue talks about single prints, what is he talking about? I saw somebody say, the other day, I completely disagree. They're like, the information that Hogue gives out just isn't relevant to what we're doing. He might be speaking a different language than you, but here's what he's looking at when he talks about those single prints. So if you're watching the opening call and you're like, what is this guy talking about? He's looking for areas like this where you could call them single prints. Here, if you're an ICT trader, you might call this a
Fair
fair
value
value
gap.
gap, low volume node for our volume profile traders. They're all the same thing. We all trade the same prices, but just different language. But we traded into this area and it holds, and that's just a great spot to buy. Looking at what happened in the day prior, and then just a really nice rally from that area.
Yeah, a little understatement there, Coach. That was a that might have been the trade of the day.
Yeah, it really was. Really was. Were you awake during, or were you trading during slow markets? Do you trade during that time? Maybe, maybe not. Initially, we had this sell off into this area, and could that have been a decent trade? Right? Could you have taken this short into here? Not a bad trade, but if we're looking at what happened yesterday, we have this little high here, that swing high. We traded above it. That was the candle that pushed above that high for the day. We came back, tested,
Uh,
and said, nope, we're done trading here. So
Okay,
go ahead, Coach Paul.
I have to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
The low of the day right there, you on that candle.
Uh huh.
Now, at that time, that was the highest volume.
Yes, it was.
So now we have a J trade against that.
We found him. Ladies and gentlemen, we found
You
him.
know,
The last seller.
the last seller, remember, Coach, move that chart to the right so we can see what happened. That's the highest volume of in a session.
Yep.
Now,
Highest volume of the
if
session.
and if it's a great tool, the volume profile.
Yeah.
I don't think we use it enough. It's now another thing, fair value gap.
Mhm.
A lot of these principles are talking the same, but using different languages. But if you combine that and you look at that, you have that large candle, late spike, volume node, fair value gap, a J trade. You know, they might be talking different language. The principle's the same. Where can where, what happened in this area?
Sellers found
Now,
buyers.
yesterday's highest volume was that candle with that big bar.
Yep.
That's real buying. That's you couldn't take it out. So there's the gap. There's a volume. So at that time, that was the highest volume of the day, and it's not. It stopped the last seller. Now, what time did this happen? I was just
This right
the
here
one.
is 8:30 Central Time last night.
So our viewers in Asia, that that was your signal. Or if you stay up all night, if you're a night trader.
Slow markets.
eh, So great example.
Yeah. Hi Pie says the thing that triggers me about fair value gap. What's so fair about this? That's pretty funny. Uh, hey, whatever you want to call it, right? The concept is the same. We hear a lot of people talk about, oh, this is just repackaged information. So is language. Language is derived from other languages, and they continue to build on them. We got, some of Oxford is putting slang in the dictionary right now, where people
Hey,
people talk in emojis, and they don't even say words in text message, right? It's can you get the point across? I don't care what you call it. Can you make money from it? And we look at it our way. Somebody else is gonna look at it their way. You were able to buy this price. You know what talks the same language usually? Universal language, Coach Paul? Money.
Money. No,
Money talks. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that language.
and also going into that, whatever your trading plan, whatever your perspective of markets are, can you be consistent in executing it?
Right.
It really comes down to on the trading floor. There was different people with different styles, s- different sized accounts. Th- They, they all competed. The ones that could hang around and thrive followed a plan and did not veer from it. They didn't get random. Although, so however you see the market and you have an execution plan and you do that consistently, you'll do well.
Uh,
Can you continue to do it? And I'll give a basketball example. We have a plan of attack. We've scouted out the other team. We've had practices to practice to execute a plan against this team. And then under pressure, you're going to find out if your players can execute a plan or they just fall apart. It's the same thing here.
Great point. Great point. There's a comment here from Africana says, but there are lots of other unfilled gaps at the bottom. Was expecting a deeper sell. Coach Paul, you just said having a plan. You coach basketball to this day. Um, you might have a game plan for a team, and then they come out and do something completely different. What do you have to do in that case? If you tell your kids, hey, this team plays zone. I've scouted them. I've watched 10 of their last games. They always come out and play a zone. Game starts and they're in a full court press. What do you do?
Adjust.
Have to.
And that's why you have timeouts
You have to.
and preparation. The thing is, they come in and give something different.
Mhm.
Timeout. We have to adjust.
Yep.
And if we can't adjust, well, we're going to take a loss.
Yep.
It doesn't. By the way, it doesn't ruin the season.
No.
Did like one of the best coaches I ever worked with? It's we're either winning or we're learning.
Yep.
Those are the times, and then this goes with traders where you learn that lesson when you journal and you review your trades and how you traded. Did you execute this plan or did you? I can't use that term. Did you lose control of your intestines it, under pressure? So execute the plan is the key. And whatever your perspective is. By the way, the market's never wrong. The-
Never.
the- It's neutral. It doesn't give a damn about what you think. It's there for you to put on a position.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I got a comment here. Adel Trader. Big institutions invest in tools where they see liquidity sitting, which makes it hard to read their intention and even reacting to what they're doing. Yeah, but also big institutions do big trades. Now, they want to hide their intentions. There's many ways to do it. Um, One of the ways they'll do it, and I know this through working with funds, VWAP. They don't just not come. They're not just going to come out and buy 10,000. They're going to buy 100 at a time all day because they don't really care about the tick. If you're doing size, number one, you're not day trading.
Yeah.
So the price really doesn't mean anything to them. if you want to buy that much, if you're what's what I call allocation, um, I've had funds. I've worked with funds. I've executed large orders for them, and they judge you on did you beat the average price of the day. If you did on their large order, you'll get the next large order. If you took that large order and they wanted to buy and you bought the high of the day, they're never going to call you again. And they do. Now, also, well, I don't know. I'm going to get too deep into this. There's dark pools, but what happens in those situations, they're going to go to the cheapest place to either to execute. And if they go to to a hedge fund and say, "Hey, we want to buy," and this happens, they go to they could go to a, a group and say, "We want to buy a large amount of X. Maybe it's gold," and they say, "Okay, we'll do it, but we want a run up, a ramp of 10% of the price, and then we'll take your risk for you." And then that's why futures are so popular because of the liquidity and the leverage. So if they feel good, then that they get a 10%, 15% ramp up, they're going to come. Most of them come to the futures. It's they have leverage and they have liquidity. So the flow really measures. That's why futures are so popular. Um, we'll go into that more, but it's a great question.
Good stuff. Tig says, "What did you miss? What did I miss? Not too much. Not too much, or a lot. Depends on how you look at it. But great thing about YouTube, you could always go back and rewind it. We're talking about gold right now. Whale had a question in the chat. Chat, don't worry. We try to get to all the questions. You don't got to spam it. What would I be looking at in gold tomorrow? Same thing that we could have looked at today, right? Highest volume candle yesterday presented some pretty good levels for today. First thing I'm going to frame out in gold going into tomorrow, frame out this high volume candle, see how the market responds. Next thing I'm going to do is attach a VWAP to it. We already see VWAP starting to leave 34.69s here. We talked about on a higher time frame the potential for gold to continue pushing higher to get up to these equal highs. Does that happen tomorrow? We're 1.5% off of this, so I got to have reasonable expectations for what I expect out of gold. When's the last time we saw a 1.5% move to the upside? Couple days ago, not too far off, right? 1% move today. So for me in gold, I'm obviously going to watch what happens tomorrow or tonight if I'm looking to trade tonight. I am conscious of the fact that we have some economic data coming out tomorrow. So, how much of a directional move do I expect in anything tonight when we have Michigan sentiment, PCE, the end of the month, all tomorrow. But this would be my game plan. 34.70s is this VWAP. This zone here, 34.57 up to 34.68, is where the most volume traded or the highest volume 30-minute candle that we had. So I'm just going to watch the market's response to this. Does this mean that if we come down here, I'm just blind buying it? No, I have to see some type of entry signal, maybe a high volume reversal, maybe a J trade in this zone. Could do it. If we just sell through this is where we adjust, right? This is where we call the timeout. Hey, my game plan was to buy it, market adjusted. How do we do it? We also had a question here from Balaji. The candles are always clearer after the fact. Now that we are reviewing it, what is the best way to see these candles clearer in real time and to execute accordingly? That is I was going to say million, but there is no limit to the number. If you can execute that correctly all the time, there isn't one. Balaji, I think part of it is exactly what we're doing right now, right? We review it all the time. Anyone who's been watching At the Buzzer with us on YouTube or in Discord know that we really haven't changed how we look at the markets. We're gonna talk about some other stuff. Still owe you guys that fib lesson, but it's reviewing the same thing every single time and understanding that it does happen, right? The market traded through this high volume. Anyone who's been watching this for a long time, I hate to say it, but do you get a little bored seeing this? Do the same thing all the time. And it's not, to me, it's not boring because it's just like, hey, this is confirmation that it continues to happen. So what it is identifying something that you can recall repeatedly, and then having the faith in real time in a system that you've tested to work. I think a lot of times what happens with traders is when we backtest something like this and it shows such a high probability, what we don't ever backtest is the time that it doesn't work out, right? Uh, we like to overfit data and say, oh yeah, this works all the time. But what is easy to do is neglect those. So what we have to remember is that even if we think it's high probability, there's a percentage of time that it isn't going to work, and we have to be okay with that. And then you just, at that point, if you can manage the risk, you just take the trade. Anything you want to add to that, Coach Paul?
Um, now you hit it on the head. I really don't.
Yep. Yep. Billy says, not boring. They're still getting away with it. Never bored. It's positive reinforcement, seeing it set up over and over. Yeah, to me, honestly, that's why we continue to do this every day, because it's just like, okay, there are at least 200 episodes of At the Buzzer, and there's been one of these trade setups in every single At the Buzzer we've done. So that just makes me smile anytime I see one set up, and I'm sitting there ready to take it, because I know that when we review it at the end of the day, there's potential for somebody to make money there, and it makes it a little easier to take the trade. All right, crude oil, Coach Paul, on the daily.
That cup still is about to overfloweth. I can't stay. I'm just friendly to it. Maybe I need to calm down. Um, but brakes are not working. I mean, we see that. I mean, there's a classic cup. And today's action, what did we bounce off of? The 200-day moving average. And the 20 went right to the 50. We're caught in this range, but just the way it's moving, that there's no follow through on the downside. So looking friendly, I think unleash if we can break the downtrend line from that high. And all we need is a tropical storm forming and headed towards the Gulf Coast. And this thing will unleash. We are coming into hurricane season. Maybe it's some short covering. Do we still have record shorts? Well, looking at that volume, I don't think the shorts have covered. Um, so today's action was compressed, but when it when it rallies, it just goes quicker than when it's breaking, and we'll see that in half an hour. Anything else you see in there, Coach?
Nope. Hold still in balance, holding that 200 moving average. That trend line is interesting. Here we go. Last night's open. Pull up all these moving averages are kind of just wrapped around each other here.
Yeah. That's just saying it's we did have no, we didn't have a mm, kind of did have a J trade.
You looking at this one?
Yeah, they did.
This one?
No,
This one?
the next one to the right. That one there. That was the low of the day.
Yeah, it was.
But it
So
doesn't give
so
time for buying. If you see that, I was in that.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even do justice how fast that went up.
The so there was a failed one here actually, because at this point in the day, that was the low of the day. Here we go.
Yep.
Know what it looks like when your trades don't work, and that's okay, right? We closed. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. We didn't close above it. Could you have preempted this
No, we
trade?
didn't.
Yes. What happens when you preempt trades? Why do we need a candle close? Look at this. This is a false breakout. Stopped out. Preempted it. So back to Balaji's question, right? The candles are always clearer after the fact. Now that we're reviewing it, what is the best way to see these candles? Let's be honest, chat. Anyone would have taken this trade? Anyone here would have taken this trade? I probably would have, Coach Paul. I'm gonna be honest.
You would have preempted it?
I might have taken it. I might have taken it.
Okay.
This is
I
one
would
where I would have said, this candle's gonna close outside. I'll just take it. Then I would have been wrong. I would have been stopped out. So seeing this in real time where it was close, but it didn't close above, can you afford to do that?
now, coach, if you preempted it and it doesn't close, you just get out of the way?
Uh, who are we asking? Are we asking
You.
are we asking are we asking the J that makes decisions in his best interest, or are we asking the J that wants this trade to be right?
Ah, the greedy one on your
Right.
right shoulder?
Who are we asking? Right? We got to ask ourselves that
Or the
question.
one that follows the rules?
Exactly. If I'm doing things in my
Now look,
best interest, I might get out. But if I need this
now
trade to play
remember,
out, I might not.
let's look, this is the half an hour, and it's not good for day trading.
Right.
I mean, it gets what I mean for the 3, 5, maybe even the 1 minute, if that's what you like. But let's look at the 3 minute, and we get it. And there it's clean. Wow. Well, and this is what I'm saying. There's this.
Yep. Go ahead.
It takes all that time to get down, and it took like 3, 4 candles to scream higher. That to me is short covering.
Here's this first one, Coach Paul, because technically at this time that was the low. We closed above
Hmm.
it. We did close above. Risk goes on the other side. No stop out. Right? I mean, unless you go right at the low tick, but I think I even have this off a little bit. No stop.
All right.
What did we get? We actually got a candle close on the 3 minute. And did we get a 2-to-1? We did. Right before more selling came in. Put it in reverse and do it again. Close above, get our 2-to-1. And we're showing this in hindsight because on that 30 minute, that was a clear example, Coach Paul, of you have to wait for that close.
You absolutely do, because just a tick is a. I've heard traders refer to it as a peak.
Mm,
That's why I watch closes.
yep.
Um, Very interesting, and this is what I mean. I feel bullish. You see, it doesn't. It took when it goes, it just goes vertical to the
Yeah.
buy side. So buyers can't are reaching. And that's a classic double bottom not just on a price basis, but on a volume basis.
Yep. Really nice trade there in Crude. Let's see what it does. Can we actually get some breakout momentum? I'm looking at some news here. There was a headline that came out. I can't find that headline, but I do have from investing.com, oil settles higher as traders await Trump's statement on Russia, Ukraine.
No,
You'll see.
good luck with that.
Billy, the chat. Great song. All right. We got 10 minutes left here. Any questions that we didn't get to? I think we got most of them. Coach Paul, anything on your scouting report? I know it was the Euro yesterday.
Yeah, Euro's starting to creep. Um, on light volume. End of the month, we talked earlier in the month. It's Europe is coming back from their holidays, um, and we've gone sideways the month of August, except for the one big rally. But we've held that candle off the lows, um, and we're the 20 days curling back up. We can get over that 50-day moving average. We're going to break that downtrend line. We talked before, kind of looks a little bit like gold. Um, I just feel that it's in a bull market here. It's well, what I mean. It's over the 200-day moving average. Um, and I think here, maybe not Friday, but early next week, I think we can get some momentum to the upside. So looking at today's action from last night,
Is we can go candle that tested the 200 first time. Volume didn't trade lower, price did. Or do you want to go Europe
let's
session open?
start with Europe session open.
Say, here we go. Right in the euro. It, oh, all right. Price breaks lower. This looks a lot like gold, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Interesting.
I mean, it's, yeah. And let's look the volume.
Yep.
When we made that low from yesterday, I mean, it's very much like gold, but when VWAP, as we see it, we're going lower, and VWAP's going lower, so we have some real selling there.
Yep.
But when it doesn't leave the range and it turns, those sellers are now underwater, or they're done selling.
Yep.
I don't preclude. Maybe there was some selling, whatever it is, and then it just goes. So let's look at the 7 o'clock candle, the U.S. Open.
7 o'clock Central Time, right here.
By the time U.S. opens, that trade was basically over.
Scraps.
Uh, there was some scraps, but um, the Euro Open is obviously more important here than the U.S. But that's why I'm saying there's definitely starting to get momentum, buying the dips in the Euro. It is an uptrend. Um, that hasn't been, you know, we haven't broken. So I think we get more momentum. Got a small position in there. I'm looking to add if we can break out of in the beginning of September.
There, Coach Paul. All right, we got some questions in the chat, and then we'll wrap from here. JD129, real quick question. Pay attention to the candle closes. Yeah, hopefully those examples that we just showed in crude oil are helping you understand why we try to wait for candle closes. We had Mo ask Coach J. Paul, when do you know when to stop in an up day? I was up 1,700, then gave back 900 by over trading. RC also asked a similar question. I have a problem knowing when to stop trading after a certain profit during the day. What is the profit rate fix for you? You fix yourself for the day. So, Coach Paul, you want to go first?
Well,
You want me to go first?
it's a good question, and I don't know your trading plan or your account balance. If your account balance and you were in a 100,000 combine or XFA, I don't. You're up that much. Most likely, you're up 10 to 20% of your equity or more. I'm going to turn that right back at the who asked the questions. How many days have you been up that much? And stop thinking of dollars. Think of percentages. That's a huge day. Now, next question. When you're over trading, most likely you're not trading your plan, you're trading your feel or your emotion. And that emotion is greed. And it's hard to really look yourself in the mirror and go, "I'm a greedy motherfucker." I had to do that.
Yeah.
"Excuse me, you're a greedy dude."
Hey,
Because we
however you
wanna
got to
get
say it, got to get the point across.
and once you realize and it's a good lesson. Now you're still up on the day, so you didn't go full meltdown mode, which is very possible. But understand, start thinking in percentages. When you're up like that, if it's part of your plan, look at it this way. If you give 10% back, 10%, done, done. That's the way I would look at it. How about you, coach?
I'd agree with that. Mo said it was 30% of my account balance. And to that point, are you trading to make more money, or was there actually a setup, right? And it happens, and I deal with it as well. Big P&L, you feel like you could see everything, right? Know when your job is done for the day, right? And that's kind of hard to tell, but I think if you're looking for setups and you know where your high probability setups tend to be, don't just stare at a chart and say, well, every time I look at this chart, it's an opportunity for me to make money. You're right. Every time you also look at that chart, it's an opportunity for you to lose money. So it has to be about a setup. It's not a P&L number. Um, what happens if you're A plus setup and your account balance and everything just facilitates you making the most money you've ever made in trading on a day? That's going to happen. At some point, you're going to have a trading day where you follow all your rules and you just have the best trading day you've ever had. That's an anomaly. What happens is we start to make the exception the expectation, and now we're just like, oh yeah, well I just made the biggest day ever. Now I'm the greatest trader. I'm going to keep doing that shit again. Doesn't work like that. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Uh, ask me how I know. So understand that you making that P&L was nothing more than your process working out and you executing it very well. And if you want to just continue to trade and trade well, you have to continue to follow that process. Sounds cliche. Dakota says it all the time. Process over profits. This is why he says it. Because if it's profits over process, I'm going to just start chasing shit. Um, and when you chase things, doesn't go well, in my experience. Uh, Bruno says, "How do you know?"
Oh, do you know? Well, but like I said, one of the things, if you're given, first of all, I would say if you're up, and that's an enormous amount. It's 30. It was 30% of your account balance.
Mhm.
Was it on one trade that you let run?
Mo says, was having a great day, switched to micros, won those, and started thinking how much I would have made if those trades were in minis. Went back to minis and lost $900. Hey, the market just told you, hey,
Ah,
relax. It's going to do
yeah.
that.
Learn a lesson. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And mark this down. That's why journaling is so important. Because sometimes, you put that some distance between the time you fucking did something stupid, not stupid, something greedy. I'm not gonna say really. I shouldn't say that, but it was an error in judgment. y- You you need to feel that and understand that. Um, but going back to that measure, that if you give 10% of a big winner back, you're done. Done as fast as you can. Shut that computer off. Get the hell out of the house. Go do something you enjoy. Literally, don't to a point where you're not even thinking.
You know what my trading mentor used to say, Coach Paul?
Mm.
Anytime, two things, two different ways you could look at it. If you want to give money back to the markets, instead of giving it to the markets, write me a check and send it to me because at least you know who the money's going to. Or two, he would say, if you want to give back the money to the markets, understand that there's a guy at Goldman who just bought his 16-year-old who just learned how to drive a brand new BMW with the money that you just gave him. Picture that in your mind and then tell me whether or not you want to keep giving money back to them.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah. Uh,
As he drives by you with
yep.
the finger.
16-year-old just got his permit and is driving by you in that brand new BMW dad just bought him with your money. You want to keep doing that. All right. VT says, I don't know people says A plus setup, but for me, everything is probability. How do you say it's your A plus setup? It's A plus for me. Um, yeah, it's A plus based on a playbook that I have, right? Does an A plus setup, it gets very dangerous when we start to think A plus means guarantee. It doesn't.
Yeah, I
You could
agree.
get a you could get 97s out of 100 in school and get an A plus, right? There's still 3% of questions out of 100 that you got wrong. That one that you get wrong is not weighted any shouldn't be weighted any differently than the others. Um, so it's A plus because over the long period of time it works out. If I think, hey, this is A plus full leverage, let's bet the farm. Somebody else is taking my farm. Somebody's buying their kid a BMW with my money. If I over leverage. So I got to think about that. One more question we have from Dante. Uh, do you think it's a good idea to upgrade your computer, your trading computer? Do you think spending more money on a trading computer is a good idea or any computer? Asking because I know TopStep X is web based. Just want to know your thoughts. If the tools that you have right now are kind of hindering your process, then maybe yeah, it might be time for an upgrade. I know for me, I upgraded last year, uh, but trading and doing streaming and things like that, what I had just wasn't working anymore. I kept it, right? I kept my old machine because I use it now as my travel laptop. But because I run everything off of a gaming laptop personally, because I want to have a mobile setup. Um, but is it going to make you a more profitable trader? I mean, if you're getting into trades and your system just shuts down and lags and you can't get out, then it might. But you know, is it necessary? I'm not sure. What about you, Coach Will?
Um, I just bought a new was about 6 months ago. A new gaming laptop, and I got it at Costco for roughly $1,200.
Yep.
I don't, you make a good point. It's web based, so
Right off your phone
you
if
know
you wanted to.
you could, and but stability isn't. You want a stable. You don't need the Beamer 8 series. You get the 3 series.
Right.
Have something that's reliable, good, fast. Um, and especially if you're running streaming, if you're running other programs, but you don't have to go all out. I looked into it hard. I don't. I need something. Like I said, a 3 series. You don't need the 7 or 8 series, really. And also, your internet speed. You could have the most powerful computer and terrible internet.
Yep.
It's like driving a Ferrari in traffic. It doesn't do you any good. Um, but you look good doing it. So to get something decent, like I said, I spent $1,200 on a laptop. It's a gamer. Like we said, we do streaming. That's what's important. But this morning I'm out of town, and where I was at, the there was a power outage overnight. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at
What
this and go,
got the best tools, can't
okay,
use them.
it doesn't matter. I can't get out of the garage.
Right.
So good question. Just don't go all out. And more importantly, make sure you have good internet connection.
I, I want to add one more thing to this.
Mhm.
As it stands right now, Dante, or anybody who's thinking this, are you managing your trades and you managing your risk in your account as it is? If you're not, don't buy anything because that's the last thing you need to fix. But if you are, then yeah, like JD's just said in the chat, the computer won't make you profitable. So if you're managing your risk and you're trading really well, even if you're not at the point where you want to be, where you're taking, $10,000 in payouts a month or whatever it is, you maybe if you upgrade, use it as a reward for following your process. But if you're cycling through accounts and things like that, don't buy anything else. Coach Paul, you got anything before we go for the day?
Once again, plan your trade your plan, understand tomorrow's almost a holiday day. Um, we do have regular trading hours, right?
Yes. Yeah, tomorrow's a full day.
But it's also end of the month,
Yes.
and
End of the month,
it can get funky.
PCE,
Um,
Michigan sentiment, end of the month, right before a holiday.
yeah. Don't go. I mean, remember that and keep that in your mind. But trade your plan. That's it.
Trade your plan, manage your risk. We will talk to you all tomorrow. Coach Robert's doing a class in Discord right now. We got Coach Hoop coming up after him in about 9 minutes. Then we have Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Dakota with slow markets tonight at 7:30. Uh, Aaron with the London Open at 1:30 a.m. Central Time. No Deanna tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. And we'll be back for the opening call at 7:15 Central Time tomorrow morning. See you all then. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Chauncey, for the XFA drawdown thing, make sure you read that FAQ on the Topstep website. It explains everything there pretty clearly to you, but it is going to be there for you. Trade well, manage your risk, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Thanks.
All right. Bye.